In the heart of a dense forest, where the sunlight barely pierces through the thick canopy, a haunting sight emerges. A deer, once a symbol of grace and beauty, now marred by a grotesque affliction. Its side is a canvas of horror, a barnacle wound that seems to tell a story of nature's darker side. The barnacles, typically found clinging to rocks and ships, have made an unexpected home on this unsuspecting creature, transforming it into a living testament to the relentless forces of nature. As we delve deeper into this unsettling phenomenon, we uncover the chilling reality of barnacle infestation, a process that is as fascinating as it is disturbing. Barnacles, those small, hard-shelled crustaceans, are notorious for their ability to latch onto surfaces with an iron grip. In the case of our deer, these marine invaders have found a way to attach themselves to the animal's skin, creating a grotesque patchwork of white and gray. The barnacles burrow into the flesh, feeding on the deer's nutrients, causing not only physical pain, but also a risk of infection. This infestation is not merely a cosmetic issue. It can lead to severe health complications, weakening the animal and making it vulnerable to predators. The deer, once a majestic creature roaming freely, now struggles under the weight of its own body, a prisoner of its own flesh. As we observe this tragic scenario, we must confront the unsettling truth. Beneath the pristine, glacial facade of the Arctic wilderness lurks a grim testament to nature's unforgiving cycles. An unfortunate polar bear, its massive frame marred by a grotesquely festering wound, crusted over with barnacles. This scene is not from a nightmare, but a stark reality, where the once mighty apex predator grapples with a parasitic invader unlike any other in its icy kingdom. The wound is a hellscape of biological colonization, dead flesh and raw scar tissue provide a fertile bed for barnacles to anchor, their jagged shells protruding like living thorns. This grotesque infestation is a chilling visual of suffering, defying the otherwise majestic presence of this Arctic giant. Barnacles, those typically ocean-bound crustaceans known for clutching to stationary surfaces, here find an anomalous host and a creature built to roam the frigid seas and snowfields. Normally, barnacles attach to rocks or the hulls of ships, but in this rare and brutal instance, they have colonized the bear's skin, thriving in the saline, moist environment provided by the creature's injured hide. The infestation grows relentlessly as these parasitic crustaceans latch onto the wound's edges, their sharp, calcareous plates digging deeper, exacerbating the injury and creating a cycle of pain and infection. This symbiotic cruelty drains the bear's energy and vigor, impairing its hunting prowess and making it vulnerable, a glaring portrait in the icy expanse of the Arctic, where the sun barely pierces the perpetual twilight. A haunting scene unfolds. A polar bear, the majestic ruler of this frozen realm, lumbers across the desolate landscape. But this is no ordinary bear. It bears the scars of a gruesome battle, a horrific barnacle wound that tells a story of survival, suffering, and the relentless grip of nature. As the camera zooms in, the viewer is met with a shocking sight. A patch of the bear's once pristine white fur is now marred by a grotesque cluster of barnacles, their hard calcified shells glistening ominously against the stark backdrop of ice and snow. This is not merely a wound. It is a testament to the harsh realities of life in the wild, where beauty and brutality coexist in a delicate balance. Barnacles, those seemingly innocuous marine creatures, have a dark side that few consider. They are not just hitchhikers of the ocean. They are opportunistic parasites that latch onto unsuspecting hosts, feeding off their very essence. In the case of our polar bear, these barnacles have found a perfect breeding ground on its skin, thriving in the cold waters where the bear hunts for seals. As the bear dives beneath the surface, the barnacles cling tightly, embedding themselves into the flesh, creating a grotesque tableau of nature's cruelty. The bear, a symbol of strength and resilience, now bears the weight of this infestation, a living canvas of suffering that evokes both sympathy and horror. The barnacle infestation is not merely a cosmetic issue. It poses serious health risks for the bear. The sharp edges of the barnacle shells can cause deep lacerations, leading to infections that can spread through the bear's body like wildfire. The constant irritation can also lead to stress, weakening in the stark and haunting expanses of the Arctic, where icebergs drift like ancient leviathans, and the sun casts an ethereal glow on endless white. An unsettling spectacle unfolds. Enter the world of polar bears, iconic yet increasingly vulnerable inhabitants of this frozen wasteland. On the surface, These magnificent creatures exude a pristine majesty, their white fur shimmering against the snowy backdrop. But beneath this facade, a grotesque reality gnaws at the edges of their existence. Look closer, and you might catch sight of a seemingly innocuous but insidious problem: barnacle infestation. It's a sight that may shock the tender-hearted. An HD close-up of a polar bear, its skin grotesquely marred by gaping wounds that seem to pulse with life. These barnacles aren't mere ephemera. They've made a grotesque home on the bear's hide, each one a tenacious little demon clinging desperately to its host. How can such a regal predator find itself afflicted by such a vile parasite? The answer lies in the dance of ecosystems, both delicate and unforgiving. Barnacles, those amorphous blobs of shell and flesh, latch on not just to rocks and boats but to the skin of unsuspecting animals, each one driven by an instinct as basic as survival. When a polar bear swims in the frigid waters, these opportunistic creatures are waiting, patiently perched on drifting ice or hidden among the depths. A bear's thick fur, once a protector against the biting cold, becomes an unwitting shelter for these invaders. Over time, a simple encounter turns into a creeping infestation. Wounds fester and grow as the barnacles burrow deeper, siphoning off the resources from their host and leaving a trail of infection and suffering in their wake. If you take